Yeah, later on. Good evening, everyone.
Oh,
This is Pradeep Mal, Ambassador of Change from GETI, the Global Education and Training Institute of Lucknow. We are the premier training institute for teachers and principals all over India and many parts of the world. And we have many in service and pre service programs. For more information on this, please go to 740-840-1000. Right now, you're on a disruptive education platform, and on this platform, we have met with and interacted with more than 1,450 educators from India and all over the world. And this evening, we have for you Mr. Arun Sutaria. He is the director of the Siddhartha Public School in Himatnagar in Gujarat. He is an ex um, IAS officer of the Gujarat cadre, and he set up his English medium school in 2006 at Himatnagar district town. It's a semi-urban place. His intention was to provide quality education in the English medium school as this place lacked uh, such schools. And he's he doesn't like the fact that many schools have been promoted to or given recognition, but do not have enough uh, infrastructure nor the quality of education. He's been trying to bring in innovation with limited success as he finds it difficult to get good teachers, though he trains and helps them on a regular basis. The corona pandemic has ruined school education, according to him, for children. Now we have to only concentrate on the basics. It is possible to provide quality education even if there is no profit motive, but schools in private hands have turned into shops, according to him. And this is quite true. This is ruining our future generations. The population can become a burden and not a dividend when education and health become commercial. We are losing opportunity of ruling the world with skilled human power due to lack of political will. He is also a proud farmer. He has several orchards in that area. So, good evening, sir, and over to you, sir. And he will be speaking to us today on is overpopulation a strength or weakness for India? Thank you for being with us, sir. Over to you.
yeah, good afternoon, everybody. I am Arun Kumar Sutaria. Been rightly, told about my background. Of course, while in service, been IS, I enjoyed my work because my motto was to serve people. Anyway, but my other objective was also to see that after IS, what? So I thought of setting up a school because when you raise new generation with the values and quality education, you are contributing to the well-being and betterment of the country. My today's topic uh, is about demographic dividends. Is it a benefit to the country or it's a bane? Now, demographic dividend, as we talk about, demography is about a population, and that too particularly the youth we talk about. Now, in our country, the population of youth is massive, probably the biggest, if not the second biggest, after China. Now, okay, the issue is that what quality of youth we have. Employment is a bigger issue. We all know. Countries can develop when we invest in education and health. Now, if you look at this issue, such a big country with a huge population, the proportion of higher education is about 5%. You can imagine. And when we think about quality of higher education, we can see from the experience of most of the people who are into human uh, development management that, I mean, at one estimate, you must have read various reports also, that 70% of our graduates are not employable. Why? Because they don't know anything about the graduation they have done. Now, my limited experience in the school is the same. I get lots of application from the teachers And when we talk to them, take a taste, ask them to take a demo, and we find that most of them are not knowing the subject. They do not know what is teaching and how they can make teaching interesting for students. Now, demographic dividend, as I said, for a youth can either be a dividend or a liability. In our country, it appears to be more a liability because the youth, which is mostly not educated, lacking in skill, and even in higher education, they are not serious about pursuing their studies. Then, what is the quality of people you get in the market? It's a very poor quality. Now, they are all looking for jobs. Yes, very true. That everyone after graduation or 12th is looking for a place to earn, mostly like jobs. But can they be employed? If they are to be employed, do they have any skill, any knowledge? Now, if we talk about that, India is lagging behind a lot. It's the demography cannot pay dividends when the quality of youth and its education is poor. And the government, as we have been seeing for quite some time, is not much investing in education. Is it some kind of a bias where they don't want masses to get educated? There is no explanation from the authorities as to why they are not investing or are allocating more funds or budget money for education and health. Because there are people, unless they are healthy, educated with skills, the country cannot progress. In fact, with this youth, the India can rule the world. Whatever limited, people that are going abroad to countries like America, Canada, or Europe, Australia. Now, who are the people going there? Most of those who got some money because you have to pay a lot of money for education and even for getting jobs. Now, how many people can afford that? It's not even 1% people. And what do the rest of you do? They have to be in this country. Now, in our country, there are three major employment providing spheres. Original one was agriculture, and the employment opportunity agriculture has gone down over the decades. And even agriculture's contribution to GDP has gone down to now about 15%. Earlier, it used to be 60, 70% to begin with. And then manufacturing. Now, with the advancement of technology, manufacturing sector is also going down, where employment opportunities are getting lessened. And third is the service sector. Now, service sector is a vast sector. It can be education, health, IT, hospitality, so many things, in which people can get trained and get jobs. And the fourth one could be self-employment. Now, self-employment can be how? Because there also you need a bit of financial support to start something, even in a small scale. And as you know, most of the youth, particularly from the poor families, their experience of dealing with bank is not a very pleasant one. Banks do not lend to poor people. They want some kind of guarantee, some mortgage or property, only then they lend. Now we are not dwelling into other sectors where banks are lending thousands of crores and then later on writing off, and the people run away from this country by not paying the money. That's another scenario in which banks lend thousands and thousands of crores of rupees for so-called industrial enterprises, which turn out to be dud. And then the bank's money is stuck. And then people simply run away. Those who have money, with the same money which they have borrowed from the bank, they run away to other countries. And then government investing public money or wasting public money in getting them back. Now that is one part. But as I was talking to you, as a youth, some people would like to go for self-employment and they need money. But do they get money from bank? Banks are not very willing to finance the poor people. Now that is another scenario. So demographic dividend, as we talk about, is only possible when your youth has access to education easily and freely. Now that's not possible. Now education is getting privatized. So is the healthcare and medical care. Government is not investing more into hospitals and health centers. They are giving you 5 lakh insurance or go to a private hospital and get treated. Now, private hospitals are shops. They are fleecing people where the expenses could be 10,000, the bill may come to 1 lakh. Who is going to check? All these things are happening. So, when we neglect health and education, we end up the youth being a liability. And then, if not today, maybe in the long run, the youth will lead to unrest, agitations, and many more things. So all these issues are real. So when we talk of demography, I only talk about, are we providing quality education? Are we providing the skills that are needed in the market? Are we investing or encouraging the service sector and the manufacturing to come up to absorb the youth who go out of schools and colleges? Now, this is what I would like to emphasize and end my talk here. If somebody has any question, I would like to answer.
Sir, is there a solution to this overpopulation, and what is your final conclusion? Is it a weakness or a strength?
I don't see so much as a strength. I see demography, that is the population of youth, or maybe even total population, but we normally talk about youth population. The present scenario is gloomy. It's not very encouraging because, as I said, there is no enough investment taking place in education and health. When this is not happening, what dramatic changes or better changes do we expect? It's not possible. So I don't see a future so much bright. Youth is keen to learn, but are we having the places of learning where they can learn, get quality education or the skills that market needs? I don't see much of that.
So, how is the new education policy according to you? Is it going to benefit us or not?
See, new education policy is good. It lays stress on skill development and giving options to even students after, say, 8th class to choose their subject. Good, that's fine. Stress is also on digital. But I find it really strange that when you talk about digital India, 30% of the villages in a country don't have net connectivity. And the net connectivity itself is not dependable. It's not steady. You go to the villages, when you talk of online classes and you talk to the villagers, boys and girls who live in the villages, is the internet dependable? No. Then what digital India are we talking about? So all these issues are real. New education
Okay.
policy, yes, let me say, new education policy laying stress on skill development. True, it's needed. Good. But we'll have to see how it is implemented because government's record in implementation is very poor all these years. It doesn't create any confidence in the minds of citizens that all those lofty ideals that you read in new education policy, will they be implemented in that spirit? That's the issue.
So, how are you trying to give quality education in Himatnagar?
See, two things few things that I would like to talk about. Why are we indiscriminately approving private schools? Why are we not strengthening government schools? Why are we neglecting government schools where teachers are paid very high salary and there is no accountability?
True.
In my district, there are so many private schools are there. There is no one to check quality. There is no regulation on the quality of education imparted in the schools.
Okay.
Nobody even checks the infrastructure, quality of teachers, quality of teaching. I have never seen that. Now, if you go on adding more and more private school, you are basically adding the shops.
Yeah, that's pretty
Now,
shocking, and you're absolutely correct there. Yes.
So how can you go on giving approval to private school? Do people have money to pay the kind of fees to provide a quality education? No. Most of the people don't have that kind of money. See, schools like DPS or Birla schools who charge fees in lakhs, they can pay government salary fine. But how many people of this country, how many children can pay that kind of fee? Not even 1%, if I know correctly. So
Doesn't the
when
government there subsidize education? Don't they subsidize your teachers' salaries or something?
I don't know how do they propose to do it. There is no talk of that in the new education policy also. There is no talk of that.
Yeah.
They are mostly giving a lip service to improving the quality of education in government school. But where is the roadmap? Where is the concrete plan to make government teachers accountable? Large vacancies of teachers are there. Many schools don't have classrooms.
Oh, that's shocking.
I have visited some of the schools. The classroom condition is bad. There are no facilities. Computers are given, they're lying in one room, nobody's using them. All these are real issues. So, what do you do with the policy when policy is not implemented?
Oh,
So, these are, yeah.
so what are you doing anything as a person or as a group to make the government aware of these things?
See, we try our best, but the government, they think that they are wiser than anybody else.
Hmm,
So, I don't think they are going to listen to the citizen how to improve quality education.
true. Well, sir,
See, in
thank
fact,
you
I,
all.
I,
Yeah,
I,
carry
I used to
on.
joke. No, just one more point. I mean, still do jokingly tell my officers that all your education officers at district and taluka level, have they ever worked as principal or teacher in the schools? No. Then what are they supervising?
Hmm, true.
So these are the issues, and they are the ones who are issuing directions and guidelines and policy issues. The people who have never worked as teachers or principals.
Hmm. Sir, there are some framed photographs or something behind you. What are those?
Acha, acha. They are photos of the painting that my late grandfather, father-in-law, he himself was an artist. From
Okay.
he graduated from JJ School of Arts, Bombay,
Hmm.
and he is the one who drew these pictures when he was in the district of Kutch many years ago, many decades ago.
Okay.
So we
Yeah.
framed them and displayed in our house.
Yeah, it's a proud legacy, and I'm sure heirlooms which will go on into your family generation after generation. So,
Thank
thank you,
you.
sir. Yeah. Thank you for being with
Yeah,
us, and good evening, everybody. Before we leave, I request you to watch
sure.
our detox from our disruptive literacy movement by Global Dream, which is an
Sure.
initiative by Dr. Sunita Gandhi since 2014. The whole idea is that to ensure everyone's participation as a people's movement so that we can ensure basic literacy and numeracy for our brothers and sisters who are not so fortunate as we are. And in this, we have several talks every day. And for more information on this, please go to 740-840-100 on the talks that you would like to attend. Those of us who can teach more than one should be doing that to ensure this gap between the haves and the have-nots. So thank you, sir, for that talk on overpopulation, strength or weakness for India. Good evening, everybody. Goodbye. See you again tomorrow. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you.